Yet another twist in the Sunspot Observatory shutdown, and all of the new evidence that has come to light is only further supporting, my diehardism about this subject, along with Tyler to an extent from Secure Team 10, and he questions it as well. And now there's a lot of information to further support my conclusions that it's still a cover story. And these are the reasons why, and these make all the sense in the world, okay? Now, Aura, AURA, is the actual institution that runs the observatory, okay? So here's their justifications for the shutdown, okay? According to Aura, they couldn't adequately protect their personnel or residents at such a remote location. Yet the sheriff and his department, which would have been responsible for protecting said personnel and residents, were never informed and were not consulted. So how could Aura even begin to determine whether adequate protection could be provided without any input from the local law enforcement? Exactly. Aura claims it was the most prudent and effective action to force residents from their homes and off the mountain, and to cease all science activities at the location, rather than just call the sheriff and have his department provide protection to said residents and employees. That doesn't even pass a smell test. Exactly. And as I've been saying all along, but everyone wants to keep on harping about the FBI's involvement. So what? The FBI's involvement, that's just justification to have the FBI there. They always did. The first one was Chinese espionage, justifies or warrants having the FBI present. And then the second cover story, child pornography, also warrants the FBI. They always provide a cover story where they know that the average person in the country who watches TV knows that the FBI has to be involved. Well, that's not always the case. 3. They claim that informing residents, employees, and the community at large would alert the subject, and they couldn't take the risk, as if the FBI converging on the facility, exactly, evacuating it, and the local post office with a Black Hawk helicopter flying around, and a bunch of people around antennas and work crews and towers wouldn't alert the suspect, nor the Otero County Sheriff buying it either. Sunspot, New Mexico. Otero County Sheriff Benny House told ABC 7 New Mexico Mobile Newsroom Monday he was infuriated at the way the FBI handled the sudden and mysterious closure of the National Solar Observatory in Sunspot, New Mexico. I think it's chicken shit the way the FBI handled it. I have a responsibility to protect my citizens in said house. I think it's paramount that we know what the threat is so we can provide adequate safety. Exactly. He goes on to talk about, his mission as a sheriff. Aura has refused to respond to numerous calls from local news organizations, and the New Mexico FBI Public Affairs Officer, Albuquerque Division Frank Fisher, returned one of their calls but refused to answer any questions about the dangerous suspect and would give no response to Sheriff House's statements, then referred them to Aura's nonsensical statements before quickly hanging up. Wow, trying to evade the truth, huh? In other words, we've got our narrative, and by golly, we are sticking with it. Exactly. There's also a new twist, and this is the ultimate. This is the how do you say it? This is the coup de grace, or whatever you want to say. This is the linchpin. This is the most integral component of the whole piece of the puzzle. Okay, the inhabitants of the observatory's village allegedly were giving cash and made to sign non-disclosure agreements, and that's exactly what I thought that would happen. That's why they were there, because they had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Exactly. In ANP's previous article about Sunspot Solar Observatory's evacuation, we showed footage from a drone taken by YouTuber Paul M., which gave a good view of how massive and sprawling the Sunspot location is, and he has been on site multiple times since then. In his latest video's description, he said he spoke to Linda Moulton Howe of Earth Files and described for her what the observatory looked like after the reopening on the 17th. The windows of houses in Sunspot around the solar observatory are still boarded up with sheets of wood. No one is around, it's like a ghost town. And I talked with one person today at the observatory who told me they had signed a non-disclosure form, NDA, and that they were compensated with enough money to where they would not want to talk about what happened. Wow. Then there's the rather weak theory that the federal warrant debunks all the other theories out there about the closure. My problem here is that it does no such thing, nor does it answer any of the questions that have already been raised. It merely gives an official sanction to the child porn narrative. Exactly. That's what I was saying the whole time. It does not explain the rather strange behavior already mentioned. If Paul M.'s statement to Lynn Moulton Howe are true, then why would non-disclosure agreements and cash payments be necessary for a child pornography case? Answer, they would not. And none of this explains the coincident shutdown of camera feeds of other solar observatories around the world, which I have been saying the whole time, which brings us to some high-octane speculations about what may have been going on. But those will have to wait for another time. See you on the flip side. I could have said it better myself, and I've been preaching the exact same thing. And this is from a credible source. And I feel totally like yeah. I mean, I don't really know what's going on, but I feel totally vindicated in the fact that, you know, I was trusting my own inner instincts and thinking this doesn't add up. This doesn't add up, and I argued vehemently with a lot of people about this. And here you go. Non-disclosure agreement, money changing hands, cover up, bar none. Now I'm the first one to bring this out. Maybe Tyler will follow up someday and he'll get millions of views, but I'm the first one to bring this up.